Alright, so I will just start by showing two upgrades that I've gotten. One is, if you remember, I had some problems with the seat post. So I have now gotten a new and stronger what do you call this? Latch. That really, when you press it, really sort of gives an extra squeeze on the saddle post. My problem was it kept sliding down. I had this plastic piece that's inside, I don't know if you can see it, which was worn out. And also this seat post itself was maybe a little bit rough, so it was given some polish, just some car polish. So now it's much smoother, and the post can go up and down more easily. So it was I had good help from this Malaysian bicycle shop called PedalSpot in SS2, and the plastic sleeve I managed to get that from a cycle shop in Singapore called 808 Cycles, I think .com. The other upgrade is that I got an extra bar. So you can see before I just had this M post, I think it's called, and now I have gotten this black bar going across. So the reason being that it was getting a bit congested, and especially for my power meter, which is this one has to be, there's a little opening here, has to be obstructed, and before it was sitting a bit lower and got a bit obstructed by the basket. So now it has been raised somewhat. It was a bit, this sort of mounting is a bit clumsy, I think, but that was the best I could do. And then I also lifted my GPS up to this level. So now I actually have a bit of extra space down here for lights and other things that might come along. Alright, so let's get started. Today I will go to two places. One is, oh wow, this is blocked off. One is just to show the very nice damming up of the Kuala Lumpur River, down where the two rivers meet. So I'll start out by going down there, and then we will go up to see the newly opened, for the first time for more than 100 years, the biggest rail depot in Malaysia, which was servicing all of Malaysia and Singapore. And this building is 113 years old and has now been opened up for the first time to the public this weekend. So I went there yesterday, it was really nice, so I thought, okay, let me go there again and also show how you can cycle there. So wow, okay, it is really raining. I think it's not so good for the camera. Yeah. I think I may have to pack up the camera. Not the same. is actually protected slightly from my body that's leaning over the camera, but when I go fast, then of course the rain comes in more horizontally and the camera is left unprotected. And the other disadvantage is, of course, that the camera lens gets wet and it's not easy to see what's going on. It's a Sunday, so the city is not as bustling as it would normally be. About 1:30 in the afternoon. So here I can actually ride a bit under this LRT track. So this is one of the upgrades to the city, doing these flower pots in the center. Just trying to clean the lens a little bit. Yeah, like that. Okay. Alright. Green light. So Kuala Lumpur has this River of Life project, and they have started at the confluence of the two rivers that form Kuala Lumpur. So that's actually what Kuala Lumpur means, the confluence of two muddy rivers. So I'll just stop and show you what has been done. So this is one here. This has also been refurbished. The mosque has been done up very nicely. Some of the old colonial buildings here, and then they've built a bridge across the river, which is quite fancy. The bridge, and I noticed several people were taking wedding photos here last time I visited. So that's the bridge straight ahead. Some signboarding. And this is bridge only for pedestrians. Interesting. Okay. So that's quite interesting, because last time I was here, you didn't see the concrete skirtings on each side of the river. So they had brought the water level up. So this was almost like a lake, and covering these ugly concrete skirtings. But I think because it's raining this weekend, they have probably let the water flush out, so they have extra capacity to take up this rainwater. But anyway, that was quite a good idea. So what I wanted to do was actually to, I guess I can still do it, but just to show you that the dam that they've built a bit down the river. So let me go there now. So you see the rivers are coming together down there. So that is really the sort of center of Kuala Lumpur. The two muddy rivers coming together. And of course, this is the old British colonial buildings, administrative buildings. The social club, or the country club, cricket club straight ahead. now called the Royal Selangor Club. So I'll just cycle slowly alongside here. It's only for pedestrians, but since it's raining, I'm sure. Okay, I'm sure it'll be okay. And at that very moment, I see a motorbike also riding here. So let's see. So this is basically, yeah, they put up some signboarding now as well. So this is like one of the tourist spots, even more so now. I'll just stop here so we can have a look. So that's the old mosque, 100-year-old mosque, Masjid Jamek, and then they have put this little fountain with some fishes in. So that's also quite nice. Yeah. And at night they have like spray mist and LEDs, blue LEDs, all these kind of things. So here you can actually see the rivers coming together and the two different color of water. So look at that. You can see the more Titanic water coming from the left and a bit more dark water coming from the right. So the idea is to make the whole a big stretch of this river much more tourist friendly and habitable, like this stretch here. So I will just try to cross over and go down to the waterfall so we can see that. Of course, there shouldn't be a waterfall now because the river is not dammed up. Here there's a bit of water flow, you can see, also a bit of trash. So that's of course also part of the River Life projects to clean up the water. So these paths are all new, and they're so new that they come to an abrupt end, it looks like. Let's see. Yeah. That's it. Okay, so I'll have to cross over to the other side. All right. So it's a really good idea because it's nice to have water bodies, and the city has really been turning its back to the river because it's just been sort of a big concrete storm drain with trash and quite smelly. So it doesn't need to be that way. If you clean up So the building across, well, I'll show it later, is the Dayabumi building, which is one of the old high-rises of KL. Let's see, so you have to be a bit careful here. No more, suddenly it becomes a staircase. So let's see. I think it was here. Yeah, it was right here. I think this is where you see these steel ledges, but I can't really figure out how was it dammed up. Maybe they have just discontinued it altogether. Or maybe it comes from the bottom actually, yeah. You can sort of see it where they have the grey patch over there, that there's some streak lines along the wall. So I think they can swing up a steel wall and basically make a barrier and dam it up. And then I think these flappers as well, almost like an airplane wing, can probably also tilt up. You can actually see it also on the wall. On the blue wall there's also these streak lines in a sort of semicircle. Okay, so now we go to Sentul. Oh yeah, so the Dayabumi. So this building here right in front was one of the first high-rises in Kuala Lumpur. This is where the Petrona Towers, or Petronas, used to have their offices before they moved into the Petrona Twin Towers. So it's still keeping very well. It has this beautiful Islamic screen and it keeps really well. It looks like it was built yesterday actually. So I don't know exactly when it was built, but probably back in the 90s. 80s maybe. I'll find out. Oh wow, now they started the spray misting on that stretch of river where we were just riding. Walk there. I couldn't. We'll go this way. Wow. Oh, it looks like a cloud. Look at that spray misting. Not sure why they're doing it at this moment, but at night it looks quite nice with the LEDs and blue color, so it looks quite dramatic. And it gives the illusion that the whole city is floating on a cloud or something. Quite funny. Interesting. Okay. I'll keep riding. Of course, it also gives a bit of evaporative cooling, so it might feel a bit cooler as well. Quite beautiful here actually. And the mosque and the trees and the dark skies. You can see they're actually putting new tiles on the old building. Very nice. Actually, let me just take one more photo. Hello.
So strong. Hello, sir. Enjoy yourself.
Very strong.
Okay, yes.
Thank you. Okay. The rain has stopped and we can proceed. A small girl in the window. Raining again. I think I'll just better switch off. Oh. Let's see. Yeah, we can try. Okay. It's red in all directions. Interesting. So this is a new cycle track, and they've had to put these orange cones, otherwise people will park illegally, even though this is where you pay your summons or go to traffic court right here at the City Hall. Ooh, the rain is really picking up. I think I better pack up. I'll have to pack up the camera. That's a shame. Or maybe I try to ride here first under the protected walkway. Of course, the rain can be quite intermittent in Malaysia. So it can go from raining very heavily to not raining at all in the matter of seconds. Let's see. We're back at the river. Pedestrian walk fail. Wow. That was really a dead end, huh? Oh, okay. At least as a cyclist you have bicycle path here. So I guess that's where the pedestrians will have to go as well. And let's see. Whoops. Wow, that's quite heavy. Okay. Alright, so I just had a major rainfall. Luckily I just bought this yellow cover, which fits beautifully. I think it's also made for Bromptons, and it has a reflector in the front there, as you can see. So I will now bicycle the rest of the way to the Sentul Depot. And this depot was the main train repair center and depot for Malaysia and Singapore. Actually the only one, all the way from Singapore up to Penang in the north. And it has now been opened for the first time in 113 years since it was built. Opened to the public this weekend as part of Malaysia Day. I was there yesterday, it was very nice, and I can see that today there's a lot more people coming. So I think word has spread. So thankfully I'm by bicycle, and this is this big area that has been bought by YTL in Sentul, where you also have KO Pack, which is like an arts and performance center, also in some old buildings restored by YTL. So there used to be 7,000 people working in this train depot. It closed in the 90s, late 90s, I think. And it has been closed since the late 90s. So it's been closed for about 20 years. So the building you see in front is the where the chief engineer had his office. So that was the most important person, because this was a train repair center. So the engineer had to be top notch, and they had both steam trains here, but of course also since the 60s they brought in diesel trains. So it was also used for diesel trains. And yeah, you can see people are flooding here in big numbers. It's called Riuh, which means I think noise that comes when a lot of people gather. I think it's a Malay word, and that's quite apt because there's definitely a lot of people and they put on music the whole day. So this one can fold.
Careful.
Yeah, thank you. So here's the main entrance. Let's fold it up. Save the right and switch off. So this is the diesel diesel train hall that was built in the 60s, and so this is the most modern of the buildings, and yeah, it's quite nice. So imagine the events you can do in here: art events, music events, yeah, all kinds of events. So I'll just walk around a little bit and tell about the space. It's quite noisy. So down here is a good spot because you can see some of the other old buildings. So straight ahead to the short buildings there are the copper sort of shops where they did all the copper work. Copper was very expensive, so this copper had to be locked away, and there was I think a 2,000 ringgit reward for catching fellow employees stealing copper. Here is some of the old steel, and the bottom part of many of these steel columns was actually stolen because steel is quite valuable, so the structure still held up. So they have, of course, replaced the missing steel. So this place was bombed by the Japanese by the British at the very end of Second World War, before the Japanese surrendered. The place was then repaired and used for train as a train depot from then on. So here you can actually see the depot. So we are at this. I'm in this white hall now, and then we walk into the big one here. And of course you can see the rest of the Kuala Lumpur skyline with the Twin Towers here. So it's quite cool because there'll be direct entrance from this train station to the depot. So it's quite nice. Keep walking. So we met the art director or the PR director yesterday from YTL, and he said they would not have been able to open this 10 years ago because there was no Instagram. But now people put things on Instagram, and that will help to attract people. And I think you see proof of that in front. Lots of people posing everywhere, even with the Malaysian flag here. That's great. So that's why I want to park my bicycle and walk around, snap some photos. Used as a library. Space, actually. Where you're not out in the open, but with a sort of landscape that has formed here naturally. And with the old dilapidated train buildings here in the back. So it looks like there's a tour of some sort. Ah yeah. That was the tour I joined yesterday. So let me just walk to the end. locked my bike here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. So let me just walk you to the end here. This was, when I was here yesterday, that was my favorite spot, because at the end you can see some of the trees that have been overgrowing the space, and it's quite amazing. I compared it a bit to the temples in Cambodia, where these temples are completely overgrown with huge roots. So it's a little bit difficult to see, especially in this dim light and with this limited camera angle, but at the back wall there's some amazing trees. I brought my good camera, so I will take some photos. I'll also just show you these toilets that are great. Oh, that was the women's one. Look at the men's here. Oh, let's check it. Oh, sorry. Oh. Yeah. Ah, okay. Oh, it's not as nice, but look at there's a fan and a nice little sink. Okay. Yeah, it's nice. Someone told me it looked really nice, so just having a look. Yeah. It's all yours. But the female one. Oh, sorry. The female one has grass on the floor, so anyway, it's a very nice space, and a really gift to Kuala Lumpur to have a space like this. So kudos to YTL. So look at this hall. This view is just amazing, huh? Really nice. Big marketplace here.
So please give it a one more time for Ryan Jones. Yo, they're insane, man, insane. Crazy. You always bring the house down now, all the time. Oh my God. Alright guys, a bit of an update right now for everybody out there. You guys love Batik Journal Workshop? We got it right there at the first room, which is on my left side. Okay, so if you guys want to learn on how to do a batik, yeah, you guys can go on ahead and join in on the activities. Right now we're gonna go with our next act, but they're pretty ready right now. Hopefully you guys will still be here. Okay, ada lagi show, tak apa, banyak lagi. After this, if you guys don't know who they are, after this we got Tika Soul. They're performing afterwards, and it's gonna be fun. And again, if you guys are here, for all of you first time out here, welcome to Riuh in the city. We're in a beautiful building, historical building out here. This building has been made more than 100 years, okay, and it's been shut down for 18 years. Okay, so it's been 18 years since this place been shut down. And finally, after 18 years, we're doing our event right here at Sentul Depot. So this is super awesome. And again, thanks to all of you guys who's taking your time to be here at the Riuh. You guys are amazing. Thank you. 谢谢。